Joining us now is to discuss really the future of AI as former Google VP of Product Management, Rob Leathern. Rob, it's good to have you. A lot of these leaders, when they're talking about AI, seem lately to be saying, we're going to continue to move down the track as fast as we can, but we'd really love the government to stop us almost. How important a moment is this in general for the development of this technology and for the possibility of putting up some guardrails for it?
Hi, David. Yeah, it's obviously a very important moment. The technology is moving very rapidly, much faster than anything I've seen in my 25 plus years in working in technology. And so I think it's really important. I think it's also more complicated, more complex set of technologies when it comes to privacy, safety implications. There's lots of different ways that this content, for example, created by generative AI will show up in lots of different places. So it's going to really be important to really have a lot of transparency and openness in discussing how we implement the right guardrails for this technology, because obviously it has a ton of great applications, as we've seen.
Right. It's got potentially great applications in terms of productivity. Of course, we're already hearing a lot about it, but there's also a very scary side to it. And I just wonder, how do you see this approach? How do you see these guardrails being put up and being effective? How is that going to happen? Is it going to require the government to step in, which typically would make people say that's probably not going to work out?
It's not going to be trivial at all. I think I see some of the folks building these technologies have done a lot to share some of the early information about how they're testing it. OpenAI shared what they call a system card, which explained what they were doing and some of the tests they were running against it. But this is going to be able to; these kinds of models are going to be able to be run off of a laptop. So it's going to be something where we're going to have some different approaches. We may need to look at things like more verification for the kinds of developers who are using these technologies to understand who's behind it. But I think it's somewhat uncharted territory. We have some analogs from other things, for example, transparency around social media and safety mechanisms there. But a lot of this is very new just because of the ability for people all over the world to use this technology and be able to use these tools very, very easily.
Rob, as somebody who worked for a couple of years at Google working on privacy, I know you worked as well at Meta or Facebook for ad integrity for a number of years during a particularly tumultuous time for that company. I mean, how concerned are you?
I am definitely concerned. I do think that, I think Sundar said in his comments on 60 Minutes that, one of the benefits is we are having a lot of these conversations much earlier. We've learned from things like social media. I see a lot of analogs to where social media was in, say, 2015, to 2017 timeframe. So what's really clear is, companies are going to have to scale up their resourcing in these trust and safety areas, tremendously. I haven't seen that scale up happen yet. I've seen a lot of the discussions about that. So that's going to need to be one of the things we do is we're going to have to get to that stage far more quickly. We have some things that are a partial playbook for addressing this. I mentioned verification, transparency as two of those, but we're going to have to really get thoughtful folks into rooms all over the world talking about this stuff and very soon, very quickly.
Rob, I know you're here to talk AI, but got to ask you about this New York Times report that is moving Google stock, Alphabet stock today, that Samsung is considering dropping Google for Microsoft Bing as its default search engine. What do you think is going on inside of Google? What are the conversations right now? I mean, the reports are the panic from the New York Times.
Right. Well, I'm sure there's lots of folks talking about this. I think obviously the Android ecosystem is very important for the company as well as the search. I think the real question here though is how does some of this conversational AI get integrated into things like search? How do you integrate those two opportunities? As folks who've used things like ChatGPT or Bard have seen, it's sometimes like talking to an opinionated teenager who's very confident that they're right about the answers that they have. So I think figuring out how these search and conversational AI are integrated is a really important product question that I think will take some time to figure out. I'm sure we'll see lots of experiments from these companies and how those things come together.